This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
My name is Darren Unruh. I work at Kaufman Seeds, and my primary job there is to put together cover crops, blends, forage blends, straight cover crop blends, and everything. I thought I'd go through just briefly about the history of the cover crops. This is nothing new. I mean, even back in the Roman Empire days, the Romans and the Greeks were both planting cover crops in between the rows of their vineyards. They would use things like legumes like clovers and stuff to enhance the vineyards, grow better, healthier grapes. Back in the mid-1800s then, as the westward expansion was happening, that's all the pioneers had to, once they broke the prairie soils out. And even here in Kansas in the late 1800s, there was extensive use of cover crops. I know that my grandfather talked about the green manure or the plow down, what they used to do back before World War II. They would plant either a summer or a winter legume primarily to turn it back into the soil, to enhance the soil with what they had then. So what's changed? So what's changed was shortly after World War II, that there was a system that was invented and started to be used called the Haber-Bosch system that would take natural gas and that we could synthetically make nitrogen fertilizers. And it was great. We get immediate responses from plants by using the synthetic nitrogen that was created then. Shortly after that, we started getting some synthetic chemicals that we were able to use, such as atrazine in the 60s, that was able to keep our fields clean, keep the weeds out of it. Mid-90s was the introduction of GMOs, or genetically modified organisms. We were able to plant a soybean field, go out there after the weeds were coming up and hit it with 32 ounces of a 4-pound glyphosate and keep the fields clean. But something's changed. There may have been some unintended consequences that we never really realized, such as what were we doing to the soil microbiome, or what were we doing to the microbes within the soil, and how was that affecting everything else? When we talk about farming, we're talking about a biological system. We're talking about a biological system that has been in place ever since the creation of Earth. We also have seen that our chemical inputs, all of our inputs have gone up in price, but not necessarily our net profitability. And with cover crops, we're being able to do some of that kind of stuff, bring back some profitability and reduce some input costs. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about my story and how I got so passionate about cover crops and soil health in general. And that was before I was working for Kaufman Seeds. I went there one day to pick up some seed wheat. I had ordered some seed wheat plant it early in order to graze. And when I went there, Dustin Miller, one of the owners, told me, he said, "Well, now, Darren, why don't you buy a couple pounds of radishes to put in with your seed wheat?" I said, "Why in the world would I spend money on radishes to put in with my wheat?" Well, he said a key word, because I'm a cattle guy. He said, "more forage." I was like, "All right, I'm in." He said, "Oh, and by the way, we're seeing a yield increase in the wheat, anywhere from 0 bushels to acre all the way up to 10 to 12 bushels to the acre."
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm, so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well on their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we're glad to answer and work with you.